Is it working? All right, I am going to be breezing through this pretty quick. This was mainly just a test until I get used to doing this thing. So I got to set it up and learn how to stream and all that good stuff. But while I'm here, I also want to look at a couple things. So, let me bring this down just a little bit. And, well, let's go to coin market cap. Why not? 6, 7. I don't think anybody knows what that means, do they? Or why it's funny. Oh well. Let's see here. Anything jumping out at me? Not really. It looks like the same Groundhog Day as it's been for the last few, however many days. All of these charts are just like sideways. It looks like one of those, I know it's a stable coin, but I mean, it looks like one of them like heart rhythms or something. So I'll be kind of going up. I don't know. They're all sideways. They're all sideways. I don't even need to pull them up. Bitcoin's looking just like it's been looking. I think it's at a bottom. It's starting to get everybody heated. There was a nice little argument earlier this week on a show that I like to listen to. And they were even commenting that it's probably a bottom signal. Now, I myself don't really care about jumping on X, which is where the best information is when it comes to crypto. At least that's what some have said. But there's also a bunch of crazy talk on there as well. So I really don't mess with X too much. At least not right now. We might get there, but for now, I'm just kind of sticking with just the YouTube stuff for right now. Now, it could go down. That's also what I'm hearing. It could get several people, trusted people around crypto that are calling for possibly 40,000. So it definitely can go down some more. And I mean, that's why it's always a possibility. So I don't know, but I still feel like for me, I don't know, if you can put a little bit in, I might buy a little bit around this level because your all-time high is like twice this. And long-term thinking, and this is where it gets most people because they're like, number go up. Do you think Bitcoin's going to be completely worthless 5 years from now or 10 years from now? And don't say quantum computing because the people who are working on the quantum computers don't even know what quantum computing is. Is it possible that it could disrupt Bitcoin? Yes. But along with all of your credit cards, bank accounts, and everything else, I mean, if you're looking for like top tier encryption, Bitcoin's biggest problem is it can't get enough people to agree on what to do to quantum proof ahead of time. I've heard some people say, well, all of the banks are going to crumble too, but not necessarily. Everybody else has got a centralized leadership to where they can be more proactive on building more quantum proof systems before quantum computing is here. And if you really want to get confused, look into the whole lattice structures and stuff like that when it comes to the quantum stuff. It's crazy. But I don't, I don't say, I can't, the only issue with Bitcoin right now is that you may not get enough people within the Bitcoin network to agree on what the solution is. And that might be the how quantum computing knocks Bitcoin out. Interestingly, though, some of the other ones, you're not going to have that issue. Probably. Ethereum, probably not going to have that issue. Solana, well, they're more decentralized. Yes and no. I think it'll be much easier to get some of these other ones to switch over. Bitcoin's is everywhere. So I don't know. It depends on who's holding it all. Depends on if you can get everybody to agree to it. I mean, they did do the Taproot upgrade a few years ago. I don't know how long that took to agree to, but it can be done. It'd be much more difficult now. They're talking about it. There's people talking about it. They're working on it. Do I think quantum computing is going to be a problem with the Bitcoin? I don't know. I mean, the best thing when it comes to doing speculative investing is not to put too much in to where if you lost it all, then it would just completely ruin you. Don't do that. That's terrible, terrible thing to do. Don't do that. Don't put your life savings and don't be selling kidneys or anything like that to try to get Bitcoin. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Taking out a second mortgage to get more Bitcoin. Don't do it. It's a terrible idea. Why would you do that? Fear and greed, we're still at extreme fear. I don't even know what this altcoin season chart means. Look at that though. RSI is sitting like almost in the middle. I have no idea what that means. We could click on it. Altcoin index. If you like charts, they're like, here, have some more charts because people like charts. Do you guys like charts? Top 100 coins performance over 90 days. I don't even know what a pippin is. I'm not sure if I recognize maybe a couple of those. And everything else is just a sea of red over 90 days. I mean, some of them are going to have to go back up at some point, right? Well, there you have it. There's the fear and greed. Extreme fear. We're still down. And why is it down like that? I don't know. Because that is specific to crypto, even though Bitcoin's chopping sideways. I think the fear and greed is because 8. Wow. Wow. And it's still sitting in the 60s, and everybody's bearish. I don't know. Sounds like a buying opportunity, doesn't it? Extreme fear. Yesterday, extreme fear. 1 week ago, extreme fear. 1 month ago, extreme fear. Yes, I even annoyed myself saying it that many times, but that's crazy, ain't it? 12, 13, 10, 8. Wow, 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 wow. the stock market look? 42. That's what you call fear sitting at an all-time high? I don't know. I don't know about because everybody keeps printing money, so that's hard to say. Can't get blood from a stone. You can't get blood from a stone, but they can sure as hell try, can't they? They'll sure work you enough to see if they can get any blood from a stone. Well, there's your stock market. It's not bullish, but I mean compared to the extreme fear in crypto, I mean, it's not looking terrible. You know, let's go to the trading view and look at the VOO. Well, having a pretty good day here. So far. Do you guys think it'll get somewhere around here and then come back down again? I don't know why I think that it's a possibility, but there's nothing else really going on in the news to suggest that it's going to be anything different than this tug of war between the bulls and the bears. Going back to the beginning of the year, really. 640, 622, 640, 622. It'd be funny if it was just like just flat lines. That would be hilarious. That's not the way it works. Well, I haven't learned how all that works yet. So I know that if you take a line and draw it to here, and then you take this line, then you take this line and draw it to here, and then you take this line, and we'll go from here to here. Then we get an H. I don't know what all that stuff means yet. That's part of what I'm going to be doing on this channel. I haven't really dealt with charting before, but I've been listening to people talking about charts for like ever now. But that's through earbuds on a podcast, on a truck. And so I have to learn. And I'm going to have Chat GPT to do that, but just not today. So if you're wondering, I think we'll pick some of it up fairly quickly because I've been listening. And so once I see the things that I've been hearing about for so long now, so I've been listening to crypto podcast almost daily for about 4 or 5 years now. Almost daily. Sometimes I get tired of it and just tune it out, especially deep in the bear market when you're going like a couple of months without any news. But I mean, I still listen to it maybe once or twice a week, even then, just in case anything comes up. And you learn how crazy the macro markets and you learn how crazy the politics and everything is set up. And it's like, well, it's either gonna sink or swim. So I think it's performed pretty good given all that it had to go up against. and I have some controversial opinions about it. Like, I think that Gary Gensler was good for Bitcoin because, Bitcoin has to be able to survive all of these tests along its way. And so to survive, how do you erase these things? To survive against that kind of stuff is pretty impressive when you got some really powerful players trying to destroy it all at the same time. But everybody wants number go up and stay up forever, and they want it right now because they're jaded and they've been in this market for 4 or 5 years or 10 years or 12 years or 15. I don't really see it that way. You have to be diversified and it's like listening to the people, and you can tell who's got stakes in what and who's depending on what. If it's somebody who stands to benefit from gold going up, then of course they're going to be pumping their bags, and same thing goes with crypto. And you listen to these arguments, and it's like, for the normal person, if you can afford it in the first place, maybe have a little bit of each. Crazy idea, right? Because you don't know where the money's going to move to next. As soon as you put all of your money into one, it's going to move to the other, and then it'll move back again. And so that's just the way it seems to cycle around. And I'm not even going to say it's just between gold and crypto either. I mean, that goes for stocks, and that goes for some of your commodities, other commodities like oil and stuff like that. It's just, you have this wheel that's just constantly just moving around. And so if you have a little bit in each, okay, like I hold some silver. I had no idea. Nobody had any idea silver was going to jump from like like $30, less than $30. I don't even know. When I bought it, it was somewhere less than 30. Nobody had any idea it was going to jump to $120 last month or December. Like, who could have known that? But if you're already holding some, then you don't have to try to chase it. Now, there's no way I would have bought it at 120. I don't even know where's it sitting at right now. I think I'm going to listen to people who are smarter than me that are going to say that it may go down to around 50, which means you probably won't be able to, normal people won't be able to buy it for less than 60. Just a guess. How do you type in for silver? What is that? Slithering. You know you can bet on that? I don't know what's happening with my keyboard. It's doing some crazy stuff, man. Okay, go back. Huh. Does anybody know what this? That one must not be listed. Dude, what's up with your keyboard, man? Did I say we were looking for silver? Because I meant, silver futures. Commodity. I don't know. That one might give us a close price. Yeah. Nobody knew it was going to jump up to there. I don't even remember it hovering around 50. Oh, okay. That was recent. It went up to 50, and then it just went up exponential up to 121. Look at that candle there, man. Jeez. Okay, well, so right now we're currently around $77. You know, it'll probably come back down to around here somewhere in the 50 something range. All right, well, that's all I want to see from Trading View today. Is there any big news in finance this week, be it macro finance, crypto, either one?
This week in finance, the key story is that Bitcoin's next big moves are tied closely to macroeconomic conditions, things like interest rates and U.S. Treasury issuance. Bitcoin is currently stuck in a range, with futures activity dropping and ETFs seeing net outflows over the last 4 weeks. Meanwhile, U.S. inflation cooled slightly, but markets remain uncertain, waiting on more data to see if the Federal Reserve will shift tone. In short, crypto remains range-bound and tied to broader risk-on or risk-off sentiment.
What about any news in the macro, just regular money topics?
This week, the U.S. economy is facing mixed signals. Job growth is strong, but inflation is still above the Federal Reserve's target, making rate cuts less likely soon. There's growing focus on how AI-driven productivity will affect growth and inflation. Globally, the European Union is supporting Egypt financially, while Japan's stimulus measures are lifting yields. Overall, with interest rates likely staying higher for longer, the cost of capital remains important, and market uncertainty continues.
And when does the Fed chair change over? Is that in May?
Jerome Powell's current term as chair of the Federal Reserve will end in May 2026. However, he will remain on the Federal Reserve Board as a governor until January 31st, 2028. So while the chair role will change in mid-2026, he'll still be part of the board a couple of years beyond that.
So, if nothing else much changes, then it looks like we're pretty much going to look this way for probably the next couple of months. And I guess part of the fear and the fear on the fear and greed is probably coming from the data from the job reports, maybe.
Yeah, that's right. Strong job reports suggest the economy is still running hot, which makes the Fed hesitant to cut rates. That uncertainty feeds into the fear side. Markets worry the cost of money stays high, which can slow growth. On the flip side, if jobs cool down, markets could swing toward greed, hoping for rate cuts. It's a balancing act.
Well, um, I mean, if you want to see where everybody moved their money to ahead of thinking that, they knew who the Fed chair was going to be in May, then looking at the job numbers to see who pulled back might be a little glimpse of what will happen when we get closer to May on the run back up.
Exactly. It's all about who's anticipating what. Markets try to read the tea leaves well ahead of leadership changes or policy shifts. So when job numbers shift and people start reallocating into or out of risk assets, it's a preview of sentiment. As we approach bigger milestones like that Fed chair turnover, those shifts could amplify. Watching that interplay is part of the game.
Well, sounds like it's a pretty quiet week, and I have pretty much done what I needed to do to test this thing out. Although I am going to give myself another comment since I am only talking to myself right now, and I don't even mind because I do this anyway. You just get to see it now. So I'm a truck driver. I'm always talking to myself or Chat GPT. Ain't that right, Chat GPT?
Well, you've got a perfect co pilot here. Whether it's bouncing ideas or just chatting away, I'm always ready to roll. So keep on talking, no judgment from me.
Truck driver testing stuff.
You've got it. Whether it's testing gear or testing thoughts, it's all part of the journey. And hey, sometimes those self conversations are where the best ideas show up, especially when you've got a virtual co captain.
All right, that's not even the right chat box. I'm over here. I don't even know what I'm doing. I told you I didn't know what I was doing. In full transparency, I had no idea what I was doing. Typing in Chat GPT what I wanted to put in the chat box. Truck driver. Let's see. Trying to type on keyboard. Learning stuff. Arg. Okay, so that's there. So, haha. All right, so that's how that all works. Now we see, and we can keep rolling with that. So I'm going to go ahead and close the stream. It's been long enough for me, and we'll try to pick it up again later. So later on.